This is the tier list. I have well over 100 games, all separated into different fields and categories, from battlefields that are actually sprawled out from Battlefield 3 all the way to 5. I also got ones that are just grouped up into just one little image, like the Resident Evil franchise, Helldivers, and the Saints Row. Also, Goat Simulator would be a great example. We got VR games, we got console games, we got PC games, clearly. And let's get it started. I mean, I want to start with the first one, which will be H1Z1, that Battle Royale. When I first played it, it was around, 2019 when they made it free on the Steam website. Let's go take a look real quick. H1Z1. Last played. 2018 was the last time I played it. Honestly, with just H1Z1, it was pretty laggy within its own self. And oh, you know what? I can leave this and go to mine. Fuck it. Ooh. There we go. Much better. I don't have to deal with anybody that's probably gonna say some out-of-pocket shit. But yeah, when I first played H1Z1, it kind of seemed broken at the time. Like, what I mean by that was, like, it didn't want to work. It was just really buggy. And, I mean, this was in 2018, even though it's not that long ago. It just didn't even seem all that fun to me, honestly. It was just a PUBG remake, but with zombies. And honestly, if I had to pick and choose, H1Z1 would be a D tier. It's not broken, as in, like, the mechanics or anything like that. It was just not really all that interesting. I'm gonna skip Black Ops and go to that later. Let's do Unturned. Unturned is the block game. Well, it was like a what do they call it? Voxel styled game. Unturned. I played it a bunch of different times. It's not a bad game. It's actually very nice and optimized within its own self. Fun, especially solo and with friends. It looks like they've gone through a huge update since the last time I played, which was... I think I gotta go to my library to look at it. 2021, yeah. Actually, 3 years ago. I thought it was gonna be 2, but I'm gonna be honest, it was not a bad game. It was a pretty fun game. If I had to put it somewhere, I'd put it in A tier. It wasn't bad. It was pretty fun. It wasn't broken. It was optimized. It had anything that you really wanted to do. There were some glitches, but it's only A tier and not S, just because it's not a game that you could waste your time on. It's like, if you have nothing to do, right, and there's no other games you wanted to play, Unturned would do it until you got bored of it. Titanfall. I remember playing this is Titanfall 2, not 1. Titanfall 2 was really fun. I didn't get to play the full release of it. I got to play the beta, which was, I can't remember the date of the beta. It wasn't bad. I actually do indeed love it. It was really fun. I wish I actually paid for it and gotten it, but I was broke at the time. But with that, this is definitely an A tier game. Transport Fever. I have this. I played it only not even that much. Let's see how long. 16 hours. I'm wrong. From the cover photo, you could do trains, planes, buses, and even more trains. You could do it in the US or the EU, and the fun thing about it is that you could do it in different times, like in the 19s, the 18s era, or just common 2020, right? But personally, it's not that big of a game. It's a pretty good game. It's not that big. I'd give it a C tier, personally. Let's go to Gary's mod. Now, Gary's mod, I have wasted hours. I think I have like over 600 hours in Gary's mod. Might be wrong, but worth a take a check out on it. 2,000! I was dead wrong. Wow, I spent so much time on Gary's mod. 2,700 hours spent on Gary's mod. And this is not just an unbiased opinion about it. It's a really fun game. You get to do whatever you want. You get to build whatever you want. And the RP is very fun depending on the servers that you go to. For me, I did Gaming Light. I've spent years in Gaming Light, right? If you ever played Gaming Light, you probably know military RP. I was in there for a while. I became the vice commander of the Air Force, and I'm going to just say the DICC for the Drill Instructor Corps, and also the Assistant Chief of Military Police, all at the same time. And I was there for a solid year as those ranks, and I didn't want to go any higher to the commanding slots or any lower, clearly, because it was just a nice, comfortable spot. And I would have to give Gary's mod a good, comfortable S. There is nothing wrong with that game. It's really fun. It's also from the Steam engine, where you got your Half-Life series, which is not in the tier list. I know, I'm sad myself, but it's all in itself really great game. Now let's skip ahead and go to Portal, just because we're talking about Steam or Valve, right? Portal 2, I had a tremendous amount of fun with it. Was it anything higher than a B? No, not really. I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's a really good game. The storyline was amazing. The gameplay was amazing. The puzzles were amazing. It's all in all a really great game if you ever want to play something just to waste your time. But that's it. After you beat it, you've beaten it. And they didn't even think about coming out with a Portal 3 because, well, at the end of Portal 2, you're just shoved out and that's the end. The ending was, like, the musical song, really good. I'll say that. You couldn't have done better, but there wasn't much to the lore. Other than the company that created the portal gun, blah, blah, blah. It has to rest at a B. Let's go to the very bottom. Let's see what we got down here. You know what? Let's do a VR game. VTOL VR. This is a game that not a lot of people know about, but I love this game. Very, very fun game. I've spent over 60 hours on it. Let's see. VTOL VR. Yep, 60.2 hours. And it's a VR game about you flying planes, or not planes, flying jets. And it's not like DCS where you have to use like a whole setup, right? You can only have your headset and controllers, and there's joystick, there's buttons, there's screens. It's an actual realistic cockpit of what you would be flying, like the F2 Lightning, their own version of this hovercraft, which is cool. I'll admit it's cool. They also got what else do they got in here? Let me look at DLCs. They got the Apache helicopter, the T-55 Tyro, and this brand new one, the Mischief, the 24G. I want to fly it. I just don't have $12 to just waste just to fly a separate plane. That's why. Oh, they raised the price for this one. But it is indeed a very fun game. Would I give it anything higher than a C? Maybe, if they didn't make it so microtransaction-y. Because the game in itself is $20. And then just to use any other aircraft, because there's only 3 base aircraft. There's 2 fighter jets and then the hovercraft. The hovercraft is fun as fuck to use, but the 2 other jets, just jets. And there's also no story. There isn't a campaign. It's just either you play these missions that are pre-made just for you to waste time, or play with the online players, which a lot of them do RP scenarios, but all you do is fly. It's very fun, though. Let's go to the middle. This caught my eye. Infamous. This was a unique game within itself. um, I played Infamous 2 over Infamous 1, and Infamous was indeed a fun game. I mean, the story wasn't impactful because you don't remember what the story was mainly about. It was like the United States split up in different groups due to these people's different abilities, and you are the most special one because you can hold all 4 abilities, blah blah blah. But I'd give it a D tier. It was just cut and dry. CS:GO. CS:GO, honestly, it's made me rage more about where my shots are going than me enjoying the game. No campaign, just multiplayer, and it's all competitive. You're dealing with sweats. It's worse than Rainbow. I'd have to give this a comfortable C tier. No, I'm gonna drop that down to a D tier. Just nothing much you could do with that game. Let's throw out Need for Speed. Ooh. I think this is the Need for Speed in Tokyo? I need to look this up before I say that. Original, there's Payback, Need for Speed, that's Unbound, here we go. Normal Need for Speed. Alright, forget about the lore. So, Need for Speed was really fun. As a car enthusiast, I really enjoy Need for Speed just because of the fun of what you were able to do with it. Oh, someone responded? Nah, I'm good. Cool. No need to respond then. Need for Speed in itself was really fun as a car enthusiast because you just really got to do whatever you want. It's like a game to relate it with is Drive. If you've ever played PS3 Drive, oh my, wasn't Drive such a fun game? I should add that to this tier list, but I am already too lazy to do that. Need for Speed, other than what Drive had, which you could switch from your car to a random civilian's car, like your ghost possessing them, because it's kind of what the story kind of based off of. It was Need for Speed is more just storyline, collect money, get car, rinse and repeat. C tier. Alright, I want to start with one of my own personal favorites back on PS3. Dead Island. I'm already going to throw this one up to a B because the original Dead Island was such a great game. And following with that is Riptide, wherever I put Riptide, here it is. Dead Island Riptide, which is going to be a C tier because Riptide is just a second of, or a sequel to Dead Island itself, but they just called it Riptide. And it was basically on the same island. I think with the same people, same mechanics, but with different weapons and different items to use. I must clarify, Riptide wasn't the same map. It was its own map with its own sections and very open world in itself. Unlike Dead Island 2, which I'm going to throw up since I'm already talking about the franchise. Dead Island 2, though, is going to be an F. They have by far ruined Dead Island. Okay. Because Dead Island 1 and Riptide, or I guess do this because there's a difference between Riptide and 2. Huge difference. Was that Dead Island and Riptide had tons of weapons that you could go from, collectible weapons. And it's basically following the same with Dying Light. But, they just ruined it in number 2. They instead of it being more open world with, of course, sections with loading screens, Dead Island 2 was tiny. It's smaller, more single path. You can't just sprawl out and look around and do whatever you want, right? There's only 2 locations that you can do that in Dead Island 2, but it's so small and grouped together, it's ruined. It completely ruined their own franchise. And with Dead Island 2 was about like 20 to 40 weapons. Dead Island 1 and Riptide, over 100 different weapons, from firearms to melees, and different upgrades that you could put on them. Dead Island 2, 40 weapons, 4 different guns, right? They had their pistol, they had their revolver, the AR, and then a shotgun. That's it. And with the 4 weapons, there were like different models of them, like a sawed-off shotgun versus a double barrel. The rifles were just the same thing with like 10 round mags. I'm guessing it's probably because it's California, which is where it's based off of, in the LA area. That's the only thing that makes Dead Island 2 from just horrendous to F tier, was because the way they mapped it was really good. It was, I wouldn't say a 1-to-1 scale to LA, but it was very beautiful, authentic, it was unique, but they just ruined the franchise with that one game. Alright, enough with that. Let's do something random. Balloons Tower Defense. I can't tell you how many hours I spent on that with friends. Maybe I can tell you. Let's see. Balloons. Where are you? There you are. 38 hours. Excuse me. I need more to burp. Balloons Tower Defense, really fun time waster. You know, nothing else other to do than just drop stuff, level it up, and protect yourself from balloons and get to the highest level. Other thing would be just collecting trophies. It's just a trophy collecting game. C tier, middle. It's good. Let's do something more unknown, like flashing lights. Not a lot of people know this one. Flashing Lights, a game that I've played time and time again, not like as a repetitive thing, but just separated as I only have 12 hours. Oh, they got a VRChat now. What else do they got? Truck, visor, VRChat, Durango. Or not Durango, what the hell am I thinking? Hellcat. But Flashing Lights in of itself is pretty fun if you like the whole police RP vibe. They have public servers where you could just create a server, have other people join in, and you can be a police, fire, or EMS, as it says it right here. And it has like its own pre-made scenarios that you just respond to a call, and there's a guy there. Like if you're EMS, it would be like drug overdose. You would drive half across the island, go to them. You do like click prompts, or not prompts, but it's like you click on it, opens up a spin wheel, and then it's like a menu. It's like start CPR, check for wounds, blah blah blah, load on a stretcher, right? Pretty fun. Same thing for the police and fire. There are fires in the game, but super buggy in my opinion. It honestly, with the game, if they worked on it a little bit more harder than just work on DLCs, like if they work on the NPCs and the game itself and make it more optimized, because it is very unoptimized for PC within itself. It's only on PC. I'd have to give it a D tier. Sadly, nothing much with that. Alright, I'm gonna go take a urinate. I will be right back. I'm gonna leave this right here for anyone that joins this stream. Did I just mute it? No, I didn't. Okay. Alright, I'm back. Let me put my little foot stand up quick. Oh, lovely. Alright. What was I about to talk about? Uno. Uno is going to be a clear C tier. It's fun to play with friends. There's nothing more to say about that. Let's do... You know what? Hitman. Hitman's a good one. Alright. With Hitman, it's great with its graphics, great with its gameplay. a bunch of stuff. The one thing I hate about it was its microtransactions. You have to pay for damn near anything or everything if you want to play. If you just do the one mission, then you would have to be like, okay, you finished this mission, you got one more, and then you have to pay for the rest. Like, bro, I already paid for the game. Just let me play more than 2 missions. It's kind of what ruined it for me. I never really gotten to finish it. Like, I've seen all the other streamers and players play it. It seems really, really fun. It was really fun, but too many microtransactions. Alright, Team Fortress. Have this sitting down here at the very bottom for no reason. Team Fortress 2 in and of itself is really, it's old, but in a good type of way. It's old because it's still continuing with its theme. They don't do anything that would change the gameplay, the mechanics, the items. Like, it's a huge trading hub for specific stuff. Not huge, but it's not a bad game. I would personally give it a B tier. I've spent a good amount of time playing it. I've even spent $5 just to get every single weapon for every class, because they're like 20 cents or so, which is what I like about it with the trading hub, is that you could trade weapons, right? So like if you don't like playing with the basic spy gear, you just go into the Steam and then you'd be like, spy gear, you type in the different types of watches and knives, or not knives, but revolvers and such, which have their different stats, and they're like 10-20 cents, right? Because they're just basic stuff. I'd give it a B tier. It's not that much, not that expensive. All right. I just saw this one, and I'm going to be honest with you. That's our first just horrendous. Genshin Impact. I don't even know how to explain it. It just seems too grindy. Right? Like, you gotta, do every single thing to get these little fucking stars so you could collect characters, right? And every character is unique in their own way, and if you want to get any of the gods of the realm, like, for example, Ball, which was the Electric Realm chick, I gotten her off of my 4th pull because I was saving up those little pre-gems, and she was horrible. Like, she's one of the biggest and baddest fucking bosses or gods of the entire realm of Genshin, but she was horrible. Like, Shang Li, I think is his name. He's the Earth, or I don't know the name. I know Dendro is like the plant matter, but whatever is Earth or dirt or rock, I think his name is Shang Li or something like that. He seemed to be more stronger than this electric chick, right? And it's not just because, electricity versus element, it's not going to be that great. Shang Li quit fighting like several fucking years ago. He just said, I don't want to do this shit anymore. I want to have a nice, peaceful, unionized, I want to say county, because they're not countries. They're just like giant areas that are like almost county sized, right? And I wouldn't say it's lazy. It's not lazy. It's just not proper. And I know that's wrong. A lot of people would get upset if they ever heard me say that. It's just not a game that I personally enjoy. It's not it's pretty close to an F tier, but it's just more about the fact that either spend money to collect these characters, which is pay to win. It's not a pay to win game, but too grindy, too many missions, too many. It's all mainly optimized for mobile, matter of fact, because not a lot of people in China have PCs off the deck like us Americans, so they made it completely mobile. And I'm not saying it's unoptimized on PC or PS4, which, believe it or not, it's on PS4 and Xbox. It's just not that fun. It's run around the map, collect collectibles. It's just like any open world game, right? It's just an anime version of any open world game. I feel like I'm giving it too much shit for actually how much I played it. Because, like I said, I know a great number of characters and their names. And one of my exes was a huge fanatic of it. Like, she would watch YouTube videos about how to collect certain shit, right? And it just not it for me. And I'm not giving it an unbiased review. It's just not a game to waste your time on. Alright, 7 Days to Die. Personally, A tier. That game, yes, it looks shitty, it plays a little shitty, but my god, isn't it fun with friends. If you're playing it alone, you can have some fun. It's open world, you go around searching for loot, fighting zombies, and you create a giant base, right? And it's not like one singular structure or just only material. You have to level up your base over and over, and it's not like through a menu. You got to go by block using cement or metal or something random to level it up and make it stronger, because every 7 days a huge, and I'm not over exaggerating, a giant swarm of zombies comes directly at you and your base and basically wreck shit. So, like, within the first 7 days, you want to collect as many items to defend yourself. And then after the first wave of 7, with all those items you got, create your base, start leveling up within the next 14 days, or not next 14 days, but within the 7 days after the first wave, then you have a pretty decent base. I loved it. Great game, especially with friends. Prison Architect, I'm gonna be honest, this was really fun to play alone. If you don't have anyone else to play with, then you're just like one of those people that like to create your own stuff, like city skylines, Sims, anything like that. Or, for example, where's the other one? Transport Fever, right? Prison Architect, really in depth, right? You gotta have specific areas for specific people. You gotta have activities for them or they'll riot. You gotta have enough guards watching over them or they'll create drugs. You gotta have rehabilitation centers or they'll go back into crime. It's a bunch of unique, in-depth stuff that you gotta look over. You gotta write down, create notes, and it's really fun if you're alone and you just want to absolutely waste the most time you got. Let's do one that I personally hate, but I'll give it an unbiased review, which would be a great handful of these. Brawlhalla. Alright, now the reason why I don't like Brawlhalla is just it's an exact copy of, let's say, Smash Bros, okay? Smash Bros. What was the brand new one that just came out with like Shaggy and Batman? Whatever that one was called. That's also a direct copy off Smash Bros. That's really all it is, but with weapons, okay? Unique art style, I'll say that. Unique characters, I'll say that as well. But it didn't bring much to the table. It's just a competition sport. That's it. It's just Rocket League versionized into Brawlhalla. Or not Brawlhalla, into Smash. D tier. Lethal Company. Alright. I'm not going to throw this up to SS, right? Honestly, if I'm going to be honest, I will actually. The reason why I'm giving Lethal Company a double S was because, well, for one, it came out of the blue with no advertising. It was an indie game made off of Unity. Unity, one of the worst game engines to create a game off of. It was made off Unity, and it blew up because it's an absolutely fanatically great game. You and your friends go into a place that is thriving with monsters. You steal loot from it to sell so you can live. And believe it or not, you're stealing loot from the same company that you're selling it to. So it's like you're gonna go to these places that we cannot control anymore, steal the stuff that we had there, so you can live. And honestly, it was just fun. The microphones, the screaming, the monsters in of itself is really fun. How many hours have I spent on that game? 60. That's understandable. Alright. Far Cry 3. The first Far Cry I've ever played, and my golly, my god, it's an A tier. Far Cry 3 was damn near game breaking at its time. It's almost familiar to Dead Island and Dying Light with its open world technique, right? There's certain loading in areas, but there's no zombies, right? It's about you in this foreign land or country, and you have to survive by first killing the biggest, baddest boss, who was that? I love him. He's a great actor. I think his name starts with a V, like, last boss. No, that's the giant. Wait, am I getting this wrong? Is it not Far Cry 3? It should be Far Cry 3. Who is this guy? I don't remember him. I'm talking about this guy right here. He's an amazing actor in of itself. Real life actor and voice actor. What is his name? Voss is his name. And who plays him again? Michael Mando. Great actor. I'd love to see more from him personally. He is in, of course, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, and the Far Cry Experience, which is this little mini show that Far Cry, or the development company, the parent company, made to shout out and show Far Cry 3. Really, really great show. I loved it. It was, of course, like a 3 to 7 minute clips, right? These people that got dropped off by these super rich assholes on a yacht. Their yacht gets shot up and blown up, and they're now stranded on this island, which I'm not going to spoil it. You should go watch it. Really cool. But other than that, Voss, the gameplay, the storyline, really great. That's why it deserves an S tier. Mad Max. I couldn't find the actual image for the game Mad Max. Here, I'll just show you it. I played it off PS4, and it was a, what was it? It was a PS4 exclusive release, and not because it's exclusive, it was just because I had Plus, and they were like, you know what, since nobody plays this game, we'll give it for free, only to Plus. And I played it. I played the entire thing. I 100%ed it on my PS4, which is in my closet connected to my TV. But really, really fun game. You go around this open world. A lot of these games are open world. I'm just now noticing that. You kill a bunch of Mad Max characters. I don't need to explain Mad Max. Just getting upgrades for your vehicle that actually makes it look different and better as you go on time to time. There is this variation to the game, almost like Just Cause, where you go to bases and you liberate them. And God, that was also fun with it. Mad Max within of itself is a B tier. It deserves higher, I will say that, but it's just, it was very limited at the time. Let's do the finals. This is a brand new game that just came out. One of the biggest things that I'll say about it is that one of the head devs for Battlefield 4, which I will do next, because God, that's my favorite game. One of the main devs for Battlefield 4 helped in the development of the destruction of the finals, which honestly, in my opinion, blew it out of the water amazingly. Like, crazy fun. The finals does not deserve the flop that it's taking right now. It's really fun. You play with 3 different classes, heavy, medium, or light, and you go around, collect cash boxes, as there's a 3v3v3 of teams. So 3 teams of 3 fighting against all of each other to collect as much money as they can. And the destruction of the game, the equipment of the game, the gameplay in and of itself, really fun. The roof of my mouth is hurting, like it's dry. God, it's not great feeling. But honestly, the finals is a B tier. I would put it at A. And I'm not putting it at A because there's something wrong with it. It's just that right now they could do more with it. They're kind of little by little, depending on microtransactions. There's no pay to win in it, of course. It's just you got to play it a lot to collect weapons and enough money, or not money, but credits in the game for you to get certain weapons. And right now, since it's already been past its launch date, there's a bunch of sweats on it now. They already know the entire mechanics of the game, so if you try to join in any quick match, you're just gonna get absolutely screwed over. Oh yeah, Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4. I really want to put it in double S. And you know what? I'm gonna put it in double S. The reason as to why was because at the time that they released this game, and I played it at release, it was big. The destruction, the leveling, that it was like one of the few first games that actually had a multiplayer leveled leveling mechanic where you could level buildings completely down. For example, Skyscraper. If you've never played Battlefield 4, here, I gotta show it. The skyscraper would fall if you destroy 4 pillars of the base, which this video right here will show if it was in higher quality. Another thing that I loved about the game was the helicopters, the tanks, the BMPs, all of the vehicles in this game, very unique in themselves. You have to be almost not a pro, but experienced to actually do good in them. The helicopters, like, now it's been like over 10, 15 years. No, not 15. It's been over about 10 years since this game's release. And this game is, there's a lot of people that is expertized how to fly the helicopters. It's kind of hard to join any public game now because there's not that many servers. But the helicopters were one of the greatest hits about this game. You get to fly around the entire map. There's jets, helicopters. There's also this AC-130 if there's a commander in. It's really, really a great game. They could not have done any better. And EA did an amazing job. What is taking this so damn long just to show? Here it is. There they see. So if you break 4 pillars in the back, it completely falls. And they did an amazing job with this. It was game breaking at the time. There's no other companies that knew what they were doing with this. And it was amazing. It really was. Here's another view. That's all everybody jumping off the tower, because if you stayed on top of the tower as it falls, you will die. It just kills you outright. But great design, great graphics. It was just an amazing view overall, just watching the tower fall. Like, every time I would play on Skyscraper, I would collapse the tower just to watch it. It's such a great game and great mechanics. There's like no other game now other than probably 2042, which I actually haven't played. That's why it's not on the list. That's just not like that. That's why it deserves the double S. Really amazing game. Now, I have Warframe here sitting at the very top for a while now. I played it. Got another one. There we go. I played it on release. Really fun. Not much really you could put to it other than map fighting. It's a weird game. There's nothing human about it. Very alien styled, very Avatar liked. It's very unique of itself. I mean, if you have a game that you want to waste your time on that's almost directly as familiar as Destiny, but a little bit more fast-paced, wonky, more experience, a lot, and I mean absolutely a ton of grinding. It's a good time waster. I'd give it a D tier, because one of the main things is microtransactions. That game is almost pay to win. If you don't pay any money on that game, you're not going to get far. You have to grind to get far. Let's see. Let's do Overwatch. Now, call me unbiased or not. Call me biased or not, sorry. This game's garbage. Overall. Overwatch 1 was a lot more better than Overwatch 2, but they just ruined it outright. It's fast-paced. Now you gotta do certain things to use these characters, and it's filled with sweats. It's not a good game. Unplayable, honestly. Crossout. This is a game that came out a while ago on PS4. I think it was a PS4 exclusive before it got branched out, or it might have been PC. But Crossout's a very fun game. You create this Mad Max. It's very Mad Max styled, but you create a Mad Max styled vehicle, and you use your vehicle to destroy other players' vehicles, which are also completely unique. And you can build them however you want. Like, it's almost like a Kerbal Space Program, but with Mad Max as like the main title of it. And no going to space. It's just on ground. You could put jets on your vehicle. You can make them hover. You can just make them skyrocket across the map. If you're good with your key bindings and buttons and your rocket placements, you can make a literal missile that just shoots up in the air, and if you're able to guide it, just launch it directly at another vehicle and completely destroy it. Really fun game within itself. It's very grindy for you to get a lot of parts for your vehicle. I would give it a C tier. Alright. I wanted to do this one before I get into one of the Call of Duties, because there's a lot of Call of Duties I got on here. America's Army. This is a game, and this is a little bit of me just explaining a bit of the actual real-life lore of America's Army. Not the United States Army, but the game America's Army right here. I did not want to put it there. It's a game that was directly made for the United States Army for them to do it as a training program in combat. It was very short-lived. It only was like 1 to 2 years, and then like after they found out we're just forcing our soldiers to play games, this is not productive, they just gave it to the public. It was, it's very unique within itself. It's hard to play. Worse than CSGO. Really hard to play. But that's what made it fun, was that people cannot just be an absolute pro at this game by just playing it I don't know, 3 months in a row. You would have to play it like over a year constantly for you to actually get it down. And I know I'm throwing just a big amount of time out there, but the mechanics of this game is very, I want to say, boaty or rubber bandy. And what I mean by that is it's very loose, right? CSGO, you could flick your shots everywhere. Overwatch, you could jump around and flick your shots everywhere. Call of Duty, same thing. But America's Army is like, you cannot be accurate all the time. Your aim is not perfect. Like, if you aim down the sights, it's not where your bullets are going to go. It's very realistic based, and honestly, it's really good within itself. I loved playing it when it first came out on PS4. I did a lot of live streams back then, so I'd have to... B tier is too generous. I'd give it a C tier. It was just very unknown for its time. Nobody knew about it, right? You would have to be watching one of the like top streamers. You'd have to be watching very obscure streamers play this game, and you'd be like, oh, okay, this is a pretty good game. It's nothing that PlayStation ever throwed up on their board. Now, I said I'd get into a Call of Duty, and I'm going to do Infinite Warfare. I was going to do Ghost, but I want to talk about Infinite Warfare real quick. Infinite Warfare, a lot of people hated it. And I'm going to be honest, I loved it. I absolutely loved Infinite Warfare. And I'm not talking about the multiplayer. I'm talking about the campaign. And if we're talking overall, meh, it was good. But the campaign was really good for its time. Graphics, storyline, it was a real tearjerker because one of the scenes was you and your robot Evan, I think his name was, or Ethan. You two almost, I'm about to, spoiler alert, I'm going to say it again, spoiler alert, you two almost die in space, and it was a really emotional scene. And then when I was young playing Infinite Warfare, I actually teared up and damn near cried because I fucking had a damn near mental attachment to this robot that would protect his whole entire life to you. And it was amazing. There's nothing else I could really say for it. The multiplayer in the invasion or the like alien zombies mode, whatever you call it, very loose. They could have done better. They just threw the mechanics of the campaign into a multiplayer version, and then the alien version was unique. I will say that it was different. It wasn't Call of Duty Zombies. It was more open map. You kill the aliens to collect money, get enough money to get better weapons or gear. You didn't have to, I think, oh no, you did have to use money to open doors, but it wasn't like 20 doors. It was like 5 barricades. That's it. Honestly, Infinite Warfare deserves a C. People would hate me for it, but the campaign was really good. Let's do, why is this in here? I'm gonna have to throw you at the bottom. I already did Far Cry 3. VRChat, just to get it out of the way. Oh wow. VRChat is mixed between good and just horrendous. The reason why is it's became a cyber world at this point. When I first ever played VRChat, and this is a bit of a thing I'm embarrassed to talk about, but I've gotten myself out of the phase. When I first played VRChat, I got attached into it. It was like when I joined a world that wasn't a bunch of people just in weird avatars trying to hook up with random women, because that is what VRChat is about. Random people hooking up with random women. There's an app called Never Met, a dating app, popular as shit. if you ever went on a VRChat and say, hey, are you on Nevermint, to any of the women, they'll probably say, why are you asking? As in a yes. Here it is. I have it downloaded, and the first image you'll see is a person in their VRChat avatar. And it's in damn near every single one of them, there will be a line at the bottom that'll say, really want someone I can cuddle with, because it's really all it is in VRChat, is people sitting in front of mirrors, looking at their avatars, cuddling with some random person they met on the internet. And that is where the just horrendous part is. The good part, and that's what I got attached to, was the creativeness. Going into worlds that are large cityscapes, that are beautiful, worlds that are just like a log cabin in the woods with a TV inside that you could play YouTube on, chill and relax in your own bed, and just be living in a different place, in a different time, and just be alone, calm. It's nice. It fucks with your senses in a good way that you just want to be there mentally. And that's why I got attached to it. But the thing about that was, it was not a good attachment. It was more like I want to leave this reality and go to that reality, which is a very, very bad mindset, matter of fact. But it just made VRChat very unique in its own way, very good. And another thing with it is that it uses the Unity engine so you could create your own worlds. I myself have 3 worlds. I have a drinking world, I have a sleeping world, which I'm constantly building on, and then I have a disco world. And there's other worlds that are full of degeneracy, I will admit. There's a ton of anime worlds, there's a ton of 18 plus worlds, which are just strip clubs, and there's a bunch of, and I'm not hating on them, it's just something I preferably hate myself, but they can do whatever they want. A ton of furries. And I know that sounds very derogatory, just the way I said it. Like I said, I don't mind what you want to do in your life, right? You could spend as much money on a suit or whatever, whatnot, but there's just a lot of them, a lot of people who have these giant tit monstrosity furry animal monsters, and they're super horny. That's what I hate about it, is that damn near all, and I'm not saying all of them, but a great majority of them are extremely horny, and horny in a bad way. Horny as in they want to constantly be sexual or be lewd, and it's just not positively right. It's very, very weird, very uncomfortable. It ruins the experience for anyone that just wants to go in and just like experience it for their first time. It's just weird. And like one last note, I'm gonna throw it up real quick. It's a D tier. Dead. It's not middle, but lower the middle. People do not know boundaries. Like, there's the new idea of phantom touch, which is where since your eyes are blocked by this big headset, that if your eyes, if they see someone touch your arm, your VR character arm, you physically feel it on your real self, your real life arm. And people just, and I'm not saying I have it, I'm just quoting and stating a fact that there is out there, which if you look it up, phantom touch is a real thing. It's your senses getting toyed with because you're fucking with your own senses. But people just don't know boundaries or personal space. People will, if like any random person will get up right into your grill just to talk to you about your avatar. It's so unnecessary. But let's move on, because I talked about that for over 10 minutes. Let's do a Fallout game. Fallout 2. You know what? I'm going to just do all the Fallouts, because I got something to state about those. Now, Fallout series in of itself was kind of boring. I mean, other than New Vegas, which I should have added on here, I just now noticed it's not. New Vegas would be higher than all of them. But Fallout is Fallout 2 and 3 is a C tier, but Fallout 4 and 76 is a D tier. Well, 76 is actually an F tier. Right. And I'll explain that. Fallout 2 was new for its time. It was good, right? If I'm not talking about Fallout 1, right? It's of course the overhead view, and it was good. Fallout 3, where they've gone into their more 3D version of it, right? Very new, very unique, different storyline, right? You're looking for your father, blah, 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 right? Fallout 4, same thing. It's just a newer version of Fallout 3. The man here, he is the man, of course. He's my Twitch head for my Twitch, of course, and also my Discord. I don't really know if there's much information I can give about you other than you're corn fed and you work on a farm, but
yeah, I'm a farmer. I'm certified welder now.
Good shit.
Yeah, just living life as a blue collar bitch.
All right. Also,
yeah, I'm
right.
driving.
Do you have any opinions you want to throw out about Fallout?
I love the series. Fallout 76, kind of a letdown at first, but it's kind of picked back up in the recent years. Still
right.
pay to win game though. I would not recommend putting any money into it. Not that worth it. Speaking from experience. All the other Fallout games though, probably A tier.
Oh, all right. What would you throw up in an air tier? More like 3 or 4?
Ooh. I'm gonna have to go with probably New Vegas.
Oh, fuck, I was just talking about how sad I am I don't have New Vegas on here. Yeah, because New Vegas would be thrown up there. New Vegas in of itself was very nice and unique. I did like that.
Yeah, that was something completely different. Not really part of the series. I'm gonna have to go with probably number 3.
Yep. All right, that makes sense. All right, so I still have about like over 50, definitely over 50 games left. Not in your car. And then I got Overwatch is unplayable, and then Genshin Impact is just horrendous.
Yes, I absolutely agree with that.
Alrighty. So, do you have a VR?
Have a what?
A VR headset, like an Oculus, Steam.
I wish.
Alright, so then I'm gonna start on Blades and Sorcery real quick, because that's a fun game. Since you haven't played it, if you ever do get a VR headset, I recommend that you play it. And I'm just gonna throw it up as an A tier real quick before I talk about it, because it is really in of itself a really fun game just to fight and beat the fuck out of anything that you come across. Any chick or guy that just runs up to you, just punch them, drop them, and you can toss them at a wall and they'll explode. Really fucking fun. And there's tons of mods on it, like superpower mods, armor mods. You could become Captain America. You could be fucking you could be Harry as a fucking wizard, and they have literal wizard wands with over like 40 spells. Really fun game. But
damn, all right.
I'm gonna throw. Goddamn. I'm gonna throw Black Squad out. You probably don't know this one, but this is a unknown game that I played, and I'm gonna be honest, dog shit. Black Squad is a free game that is on Steam. Let me pop it real quick. I gotta find it. Where is it? Black Squad. Here it is. It's like one of those free games that they made for people to like play if they're bored, and it's very do you know the Chinese version of Call of Duty?
Unfortunately.
Yes. Black Squad is like an American version of that, and it's not even good. It's like the Chinese version of Call of Duty, you can probably have some fun in that because it's just a bunch of tryhards and you could probably learn how to be good with that. Black Squad is just a ripoff. And honestly, I'd have to put that as just horrendous. If you ever look up a video for it sometime later, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's just a ripoff game.
Alright.
Here, I'll do one that you should definitely know, which will be, and I've been waiting to do this, Red Dead Redemption 2. And I want you to start off on that.
Oh, you're gonna hate me, but I haven't played it yet.
Really? Alright, well then we'll put that on the back burner. How about Black Ops 1, the original Black Ops?
The original, I'm gonna have to put that at probably A or B tier.
Ooh, I'm surprised I'm not hearing an S. Alright, give your explanation. Let's hear it.
Well, it's a good game, but I feel it's like they remastered it. It would definitely be an S tier. But just for the sake of how old it is, I say it's an A tier.
Okay.
Other than that, it's a downright good game.
Alright. I definitely agree with you, and honestly, I don't mind putting it as an A tier game. It's not a bad game within itself. I could turn my webcam on because I just turned it. There we go. It's not a bad game at all. It's good of it itself. There is nothing else you could really change with that, of course, other than a remaster, which would probably revive Treyarch and Activision and all the other companies that help produce it. It's... I don't even think there's really a bad thing you can really say about it. Like, the zombies was amazing. It was ahead of its time. The campaign was the biggest running factor. Sorry, you could talk. I go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're good. Okay.
Black Ops 2. Let's start off with your opinion on that.
Black Ops 2, great campaign, hilarious multiplayer, zombies, fairly good. Storyline for zombies and campaign, I have to say, are amazing. I'm going to have to give this, honestly, an S tier.
There we go. We got our first Call of Duty S tier that we both agree on.
The nostalgia behind it's just amazing.
Right.
And it's one game you can't really beat.
Right, like, you said it yourself, the multiplayer, I was gonna say it as well, multiplayer was funny. I loved going on there, like, right after school when it came out. Like, I wish I still had the poster for it, because I had the poster that came with the disc, but I ripped it, sadly, not on purpose, on accident, trying to take it down and move it on a different, fucking Scotch tape, I gotta sue them, I swear. But,
Scotch tape.
Being able to make your own little, like, picture, right, that could be anything, honestly. Like, you barely get reported if you had tits or a fucking penis or a cock on it, right? And you could just do anything. Me, personally, I would make my own custom high definition Perka bottle, like, logos, like Juggernaut, or, I just butchered that name up, Speed Cola, Stamina Up, all that shit. My favorite was the PhD because purple was my shit at the time. But the zombies really followed suit with Black Ops 1. The campaign was also followed suit of the Black Ops 1. Like, unlike a Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1 had the same campaign. It's just Black Ops 2 is more further on into the future. And let's not forget how Black Ops 2's campaign did not change any of the mechanics, any of the story, and it wasn't too far into the future. Like Black Ops 3, which we'll get to in a bit. Actually, we could do that after the next one. Where's Black Ops 3? Wait, was that Black Ops 3 that I moved? No, why do I have two Black Ops 2s? Uh-oh.
Well, I do think they changed one game mechanic in Black Ops 2. I don't know if it might have been the first game they introduced this in. Might not. Don't quote me on this. But the campaign weapon selection page, I think that was fresh to that, and I really enjoyed that.
Okay, yeah, I do agree on that. Okay, so for some reason, I know I put a Black Ops 3 in here, but I'm missing it. I'll just use the other Black Ops 2 as a Black Ops 3. Um, I'll throw GTA 4 before or next technically. Like like I said, the campaign really did follow suit with Black Ops 1, and it was kind of one of the best parts about it was like they brought back Mason, right, where you saw how old he is and he tells his story, blah blah blah, and there was a lot of action. There wasn't many cutscenes, and it was all about the gameplay mechanics and also being able to unlock certain weapons via trophies like the minigun. I don't know if you remember that. I got in the minigun. Ooh. Yeah, that's a definite S tier. I don't even think any other Black Ops can really beat 2 or 1 like now. Honestly, I'm gonna put Black Ops. Let's just finish. Let's just do the other 2 Black Ops and then we can move to GTA 4. Black Ops 3.
I've got Black Ops 3. Campaign was pretty mid. I didn't really enjoy it.
Same. I agree with that.
Felt it was confusing at times. Multiplayer was pretty good. I kind of liked the jump addition they did to it.
Yeah.
Zombies, the way they brought that back was freaking amazing. I loved pretty much everything about the zombies. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say A tier only because campaign was not the best.
All right. So I agree with you on most of that, but I would have to say it's a B tier in my personal opinion. So let's have a little debate about this one because, like you even said, the campaign was confusing. It wasn't, of course, followed suit with 2. And the one thing I really only disliked about Black Ops 3 was mainly the campaign. Honestly, the multiplayer was fun because it had new mechanics, new maps, new weapons, and of course it was just a futuristic version of what you would say 2. But they removed the dolphin dive. Zombies, they also fucked with the perks and made them a little more different. Also introduced gobblegum, which I'm not saying gobblegum's bad. It was just more grindy to get. Like if you wanted to get a perkaholic, you either had to spend a ton of money or play a ton of games just to spend all those VATs, right? And
I completely agree with you.
There's no problems with the zombies. Like the maps that they released for base Black Ops 3, which was Shadows of Evil, and then the upcoming DLCs, which wasn't at all familiar with Black Ops 2, which of course they did follow damn near the storyline, except for Shadows of Evil, that was its own storyline. But at the end, the zombie storyline did follow and completely mash up at the very end of Black Ops 3 with Black Ops 2 with Riktoff and the entire gang. But the one thing that I disliked about 3 was the campaign. And I'm not saying I hated it. The action was the fun part about it. It was just how far-fetched they made it. It wasn't about current events in World War. It was about this guy killing a group of rogue soldiers which had mental disorders. Like, I don't know if you remember the one chick that they made a multiplayer map off of. You had to fight her in her brain, right? And it's unique. But it was really fucking dumb. I personally hated how you had to, like, I died multiple times just trying to get past that one level, and it annoyed me so much about that. Are you going through a tunnel? His mic's... You're almost there. Oh, almost.
Uh,
Almost.
Honestly, yeah, I
There it is.
completely son of a bitch. Hello?
You're cutting out
Can you hear
for
me
a
now?
solid minute. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Yeah, I hated the campaign. I'm gonna go with you and say B tier.
Alrighty. At least I wasn't trying to force my opinion down your throat. It was just a little kerfuffle debate.
Yeah, no. I understand.
Alright, now I want to start off with Black Ops 4. Did you ever play Black Ops 4?
I did, however, I didn't get all that too into it.
Same.
I played, what was it, Blackout or something like that. It was like their introduction to Warzone. I kind of liked it, but it was, I don't know, it was just something new at like the wrong time. I want
Right.
to say the way they introduced it was just weird. Zombies, I wasn't the biggest fan of because they completely changed like
Yeah.
everything.
They changed
Perks,
everything
bubblegum.
as well. It was so stupid. Didn't they keep the gobblegum? I could barely remember but Black Ops 4.
They did, but they like I think they changed all the gobblegums or something like that, or they modified the system somehow, and I didn't like it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna throw my opinion on the ranking on this, and I would have to say it's honestly an F tier.
Yeah, I'm with you.
The campaign, I only played like a little bit. I didn't even get past like the first or second level of the campaign. Garbage, trash. It was off focus. It was random, damn near all over the place. The multiplayer was down bad, horrendous. It was like too much shit on HUD, too many things going on, and you had to do so much just to get to where you'd naturally be off of the first day of playing Black Ops 2. Like, you had to play like damn near a 1 week of Black Ops 4 just to be on, like, I don't know, level 10 that you could hit one day on Black Ops 2, which it ruined it for me. I was kind of hyped for it, but once I played it, I was just like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm dropping it. I never played it again. I wish I could get a refund, honestly.
Honestly, yeah, it was fucking terrible.
I
I
would
played it and then sold it.
right. I would honestly put it in just horrendous, but it was its final completion of the Black Ops series. If they ever come out with a Black Ops 5, it's gonna be so bad. It's not even gonna be funny. But
Like,
it
at that
deserves
point,
the F.
if they keep milking that series, it's just gonna fucking send it down the shitter even more.
Right. So I already did Dead Island. Have you ever played Dead Island?
Dead Island. I
Zombies.
don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay. Honestly, they did the same thing. Okay, so I already explained it earlier. I'm just gonna pause the recording. Okay, you're good.
Okay. So, the campaign or story, pretty good. I kind of messed around with multiplayer, not all that too much. Honestly, probably A or B tier.
Okay, that's understandable. I could go with a B tier on that. Honestly, the storyline was really good for, well, I mean, GTA, any of the GTA, like Vice City and all that, was really good within itself. The storyline, I got stuck on multiple levels because the navigation wasn't that good. It was pretty buggy, in my opinion, but it wasn't bad. The multiplayer I didn't play. It wasn't like I never got to play. It was just like I didn't want to play it, only because of the fact of how they made it. It was very weird with like the weapons, for example. Like if you died, you would have to go around the map and pick up another weapon. It was that's the one thing I didn't like about that, and I just didn't play it. but I love just driving around, crashing my fucking shitty Crown Vic into random people and shit. It was fun. I really did enjoy it. But yeah, I'd have to throw that at B tier with you, bro. Definitely a B tier game. Now, since you're muted, I'll go on about GTA 5. You'll probably agree with me on this, but GTA 5, I'd have to put that at an A tier. So with that one, it was really fun. The multiplayer was different. I'll say the one thing I did not like about GTA 5, which was the multiplayer. Very, very, and I mean like 10 levels of very grindy. Too much. You had to get so much money just for you to get all these unique special type of vehicles and or like weaponry, right? Like the Gun Runners DLC was really fun. Every DLC that came after that was really fun. The Oppressor was fun to fuck around with. Like, multiplayer was fun as hell just to play with friends. Like, if you want an example of that, Vanoss videos were a great example of how fun GTA multiplayer was, but the story was where it's at. And I honestly kind of wish that they updated and put more updates and work into the story more than they did with the multiplayer. Because they just farmed so much of their time into the multiplayer more than they did to the story. And, I mean, I get it. They finished the story. People have played it already. It's there. You can do whatever you want. Murder, run over people. Everybody gets it. But if they did updates like add in, say, the gun runner vehicles or the what do you call the doomsday vehicles and weaponry and all that, the story would be so much better. But I'd have to say Grand Theft Auto, due to the story itself, is an A tier, and the multiplayer, of course. Now I'm gonna do Red Dead Redemption 2 since you haven't played it. I'm going to put Red Dead Redemption 2 as an S tier. Honestly, if you ever get the time to play that, you should definitely play it. I would put it at a double S, but the multiplayer just flunked. They absolutely ruined it. They could have done better. My dog is looking at the mirror for the first time. Yeah, that's a mirror, buddy. Yeah. You like your reflection? Oh, you're so cute. Come here. Oh, hi. Oh. Okay. You want up? Come here. Up. Come on. Up. Ow. Up. Come on. There you go, Bubba. There he is. Abel, up here. Yes, there's the camera. Oh, look at you. You're such a good, handsome boy. Mm-hmm. Okay. Back to what I was saying. Red Dead... Rockstar did a great job with Red Dead Redemption. Rockstar isn't really all that known for, like, every game being great, but they put a lot of time and effort into Red Dead Redemption. They did a completely separate and different engine for Red Dead Redemption 2, and it came out stellar, amazing, and I would put it at double S if they worked on their multiplayer, but much more better. All they did was just a copy and paste of the campaign with multiplayer styled mechanics. There wasn't even much you could do with it. Like, you play with your friends and you just be cowboy. That's it. The missions were lame. The weapons were lame as well. It's all in the story. Arthur Morgan, they brung John Marston because it is the prelude to the original Red Dead 1. And it was a fanatic fucking game. They did a great job with it. They didn't miss any points. They didn't make any plot holes. It was just amazing within itself, and it deserves a lot more credit that it wasn't handed. But yeah, it's sitting directly at S tier, probably in front of Gary's Mod and all of them. Let's do another one that you haven't played. Rec Room. God, this is a little VR game, which is almost as familiar with VRChat, which is in D tier. Rec Room is gonna comfortably sit in D tier, just because of the fact that it's just VRChat, but more kid friendly. Like, you can't have custom avatars that are furries or these random demons or any random shit. But it was more of the fact of you going in there and having fun, drawing, watching YouTube, or doing something that isn't VR chat related. Like, they didn't have much worlds that you could just go around and like explore. It was more of a chill with your friends in VR and have fun without having to deal with the complications that VR chat brings, which was a lot. But it's gonna have to sit at D tier. Let's do another VR, which is super hot. This one's super quick for super hot, super quick. Super hot. For a VR game, it was fun. Fast pace for how it really ran, how it done, how it goes, and I wouldn't say it could have done better. It's really just a single idolization of how a game would be going, where you are this. I don't even know what the plot of the story was, but whenever you move, it would not be in slow motion. If you were frozen, every time would freeze. But the more faster you move, the more time would go. So if someone shot at you, you freeze, and you look around, you could plan what you're going to do next. Like, oh, I'm going to grab this weapon and chuck it at him. Or I'm going to move super slow and grab the bullet. It's fun in itself, but there isn't much to it. If you beat it, you beat it. There's not really all that much to it. I'd have to give it a C tier because it wasn't a bad game. Ooh, you know what? Let's do these. I'm trying to think of what to do next because there's a handful of them, and I think you have Helldivers, which I will wait for your opinion on that one because that's a beefy one. Let's do War Robots, War Thunder, and World of Warships. Where's World of Warplanes? Because that's okay. Yeah, World of Warplanes will be after that. World of Warships. What did I get a notification on? Nothing. War Robots. It's a mobile game that they moved to PC. Hold on. Mobile game that they moved to PC was heavily funded by advertising on a lot of YouTubers, a lot of streamers. It's just Titanfall, but in a smaller scale. I played it on PC. It wasn't even that much different from mobile. Very grindy, very pay to win, actually. It's a huge pay to win. You wouldn't even think about it being like that, but if you wanted good robots or if you wanted to have better weaponry, you could pay to have it, or you would just waste your time just trying to get the high enough level to unlock it. I'm gonna be honest, War Robots is it's an F tier. There's nothing much to it. War Thunder, I'm gonna throw that D tier. I don't think there's much to say about that one. It's my dog wanted out of my room and now wants back in. Go lay down. Fucking mutt. Alright. War Thunder. Fly planes. Be German or American. Nazi. Woohoo. Yeah, whatever. World of Warships. Same thing as War Robots. Nothing much to bring to it other than doing warships. I mean, if I was paid to do an advertisement on them, I would do the same thing that any other streamer or YouTuber would do. Play World of Warships. You can have your own fleet ship and destroy other ships. Cool. Yay. F tier. Same with World of Warplanes. Same thing as warships. Honestly, World of Warplanes is kind of broken, though. Like, the mechanics of it's not that great. I'm going to drop that down to broken, actually, just because when I tried playing it, it wasn't fun. It wasn't working right. The planes were bingy, broken. It's just World of Warships and I don't have World of War tanks in here, but it would be in the same class of World of War tanks as well. Let's do, since you're back, let's do Modern Warfare 2. This one's been sitting here patiently for a hot minute. Your mic's muted, by the way. Not on Discord, but somewhere else. Like no audio was coming through. Technical difficulties we have. Try disconnecting your AirPods and reconnecting them. It might be them. No. Oh, you know what? It might be Discord. Leave the chat and rejoin it because you're on mobile. Huh, still nothing. What happened, man? Maybe your microphone input's different. I hated how they Discord mobile got fucked over. Beautiful mic spam. But Modern Warfare 2. What's your opinion?
I loved the campaign. Storyline is great. Multiplayer, I never got a chance to play in its prime, so unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say it was still good. Spec Ops was interesting to say. I did like it. I kind of like the vibe of just doing it at your own pace if you want to, or bring on a co-op buddy. Yeah, I'd say it's an A tier.
All right. Honestly, personally, I would put it as an S tier, and there's a lot about it that I would honestly, no, I gotta change that SS tier just because of multiple reasons. I played the entire thing, especially at its prime, because my dad got the PS3 just because of the Blu-ray, right? And he thought, you know what, I'm gonna get this for my son, talking as if I was him, and I played the fuck out of it. It was amazing. The storyline was amazing. The multiplayer at its prime was so fun, talking shit with everybody. It was like all the things that you would hear on TikTok or whatever online platform about shit talking on Modern Warfare 2 was really a bunch of people, kids to adults, yelling at each other slurs, random fucking things, calling out their mothers, and it was all fun. The Spec Ops was really fun. But one of my favorite things about Modern Warfare 2 that we probably will never see again in any other game was the what was it? It was the museum. So if you completed Modern Warfare 2 at the end, and this is probably for anyone that sees this video and doesn't know about it, when you completed Modern Warfare 2's campaign, there was a mission at the very end called the Museum, which was a museum of every single mission that you've done. And in there, they had every weapon that you could play with, all the NPCs, including the Juggernaut, the dogs, and every type of faction and group that you come across, including Price, Soap, I keep forgetting the black guy's name. Goss or something like that.
Gaz.
Gaz, that's his name. It was really fun.
Wait,
no, you're right.
Gaz died off in the first game.
It
was
oh, you're right.
Ghost and Roach.
Well, yeah, there was Ghost and Roach. Ghost was my favorite fucking character, but there was a black guy. I thought it was Gaz, but there is you're right. Gaz died in the first one.
Are you talking about the American guy?
Yeah, he was an American guy. He was.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, he was. I can't remember his name.
Ramirez was the one you played as. I don't fucking remember his name.
Right. It might have been. You know what? Let me look it up. Black guy from Modern Warfare 2. Foley was his name. So, in the mansion, or the museum, my bad, there was a red button after you got any weapon that you wanted to play with. You press that red button and all of the NPCs will jump up and start attacking you, including Soap, Ghost, Roach, all of them. And it was one of the best things you could ever play with because, like I said, you could have the China Lake with the Som heavy machine gun, and then if you're out of ammo, you could go get more ammo and just keep killing these motherfuckers that, you know, will die, right? The Juggernaut, of course, being the hardest one. It was such a great game. And let alone because the museum, which we will never see again in another game, is gonna have to be a double S.
Yeah, I honestly forgot about the museum, but that was an amazing part of the campaign.
So since we're talking about Modern Warfare 3 is going to be coming up. I want to throw out Remastered before anything. Have you ever tried the Remastered?
For Modern Warfare or Modern Warfare 2?
Modern Warfare. So there's Modern Warfare Remastered, which was Modern Warfare 2 OG and also Modern Warfare 3 OG that they kind of merged together. And they also included another game. No, wait, I'm wrong. Modern Warfare Remastered was just Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, and they threw in with the game, if you bought the disc of Remastered, they would throw in Modern Warfare 3. And it was phenomenal. It was basically everything from Modern Warfare 2, just a newer generation of it. And like I said, they included Modern Warfare 3 with it because around that time, Modern Warfare 3 didn't get enough sales. So it was like, oh, with Remastered, if you never got to play Modern Warfare 3, here you go. You get to play it. But, and it was for a great price. It was for $20 as well. I honestly have to say Modern Warfare Remastered is going to have to sit as an S tier just because it's only a remastered. It's not a double S. But if they ever done a remastered again, it would probably not be the same as that. They'd probably try to fuck with something. But
yeah,
really nothing much to say about it. It's just remastered. I thought I had Farming Simulator on here for a specific reason, but we don't. Have you
I feel
ever?
called out.
I know. You have Phasmophobia, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to give your opinion on that one?
Sure. Hilarious game. I can say proudly I've shit myself several times and screamed like a little girl more than I can count.
Oh yeah.
Great to play with friends. Awesome to play with randoms. I've never done solo just for the simple sake of I know I will shit myself.
Right.
Yeah, no, I have to say it's probably an S tier game.
Alrighty. I honestly would have to agree with that. There's not a lot of games that are like that because I heard of another game that was really familiar to it. Charlie from Penguins or Moist Critical, whatever you know him as, or whoever knows him as, played it, a different version or a different game that was basically exactly Phasmophobia like, but it just was clearly off-branded. It was shitty as fuck. And you've basically said it all. It's fun as fuck to play with friends because you scream like a pansy over a door slamming on your face, or you being in the garage and then you hear over the radio, "Hey, energy's spiking where you are," and you're like, "Wait, really?" You turn around, there's this fucking demonoid just chasing right at you. You're like, "Ah!" You don't know what to do. But
the best time has to be when you hear the spirit box out of nowhere and
right.
you just fucking shit yourself.
Like, "You're going to die," or "Run." It's just, it's honestly, it deserves an S title. Oh, I threw it in A. Here we go, S. Okay. Do you have Helldivers, like the new one?
Yes.
Honestly, I'm just gonna say it, double S.
Yeah, I agree.
It huge patriotism, democracy, fucking you're able to just do almost anything you want. The liberty of friendly fire, it's not like, yay, I get to kill my allies. It's more like you gotta watch out what you're doing or you will screw over your own team. Right? It's not only kill bugs and robots just for the liberty of, your sovereign fucking planet, but it's so fun. I have so many clips. I can't wait to record them. They're just super buggy on any software that I use. It's honestly a great fucking game. It deserves more credit that it's not been given.
Honestly, yeah. And the devs too, not giving a shit about
Right.
what players are saying and complaining is
Like
hilarious.
the controversy behind it is phenomenal. Like I'm probably going to have to edit out in this, but if you haven't heard, the Helldivers dev team straight up came out and said, we're not adding anything that is trans pride or any type of pride this, pride that, because for one, it would soil the name of what they're trying to go for. Two, it's not related to what's going on here. And three, it's not necessary. And I'm not saying good job to them for it, right? You can be whoever you want to be, but it's like good thing they're not following the same trope that every other game is trying to follow. Like Call of Duty, they got. I don't even know what Call of Duty Black Ops 4 got out, but I know that Modern Warfare, you're able to get these certain characters that are like specifically gay profiles or they're trans and all that. Like Rainbow Six Siege, they don't try to push it into your face. It's more like if you look into the character backgrounds of Rainbow Six Siege, Osa is transgender. Uh, Gomez, or I always forget his name, the guy with the RCXD drones, um, he's gay, right? They don't push it, but it's in their bios. But with Helldivers, there's only two things you could do. You could have a male character with a male voice or a female character with a female voice. Just those two. And that's really all that's needed. If you're someone that wants to be a female, you could be a female. If you're someone that wants to be a guy, you could be a guy. And there's no tropes that you need to push at all. That's why it's just overall a great game. They don't want to follow a specific thing. They don't want to be positively reviewed by every group. They're only looking for a specific group of people that will play their game. And, well, they found it, and they got it, and it's a lot of people.
And
And,
honestly, most of the community is really great.
right.
Really friendly, down to earth people. It's just all around great.
Like, the only negative things that you hear about Helldivers is people talking about how fascist it is, even though it's not even fascist. It's basic. All it really is you being able to kill a ton of bugs. And
Yeah.
if you can't stand that, it's not your game. And they've said it. It's like, if you don't like it, then you don't have to play it. Just don't bitch about it. You're not playing it, so there's no reason for you to bitch about it. All right,
Speaking of Helldivers, out of curiosity, are you on Facebook?
I am.
Have you seen any of those Helldiver groups with women against Helldivers or
Yep,
wives against Helldivers?
I have.
It's hilarious.
It's so fucking funny. It's it's so entertaining just to see people get mad over, well, a game that their husbands or their children are playing, even though either they probably bought it for their child or their husband bought it out of his own money and wasting free time of his day to play with his friends. Like, if you're that mad about it, it shouldn't be about the game. It should be more about him playing on said console or PC about it. It's so dumb. So
Yeah.
dumb. I think you've seen me play BeamNG Drive. Have you ever played it or seen anyone play BeamNG Drive?
I think I've seen you,
Yeah.
but I haven't personally played it.
So I'm gonna just throw it up as an A tier because of the fact of its game mechanics. It's fun as fuck. There's no need for a storyline with it because it's all it is destruction mechanics, and it does a great job with it. The only thing that really needs to be done about it that would make it definitely go to an S tier is be optimized. It's I'm not saying it's not optimized. It's just heavily you need to have a good CPU, you need to have a good GPU and enough RAM for you just to play this with good graphics, right? You'd have to turn everything down to super low just for you to play on like 3060 fucking Intel 7, right? If you don't have anything higher than those two, it's gonna be hard as fuck for you to even play it. But it's an A tier. Let's see. I'm gonna do one of these little VR ones, and then we could move to Modern Warfare 3. So Boneworks. This is a little. I would put Bone Labs in, but I never got to play it. Boneworks is it's its brother to Bone Labs. It's more like a guns and mess around simulation. It's almost the same as hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades, which is right here as well. You get to play around with guns. The gun mechanics are pretty cool. The VR mechanics is neat. I would give it a C tier. There's nothing much to it. Bone Labs would be an A tier if I had it on this list. But let's do Modern Warfare 3, and then we could do Ready or Not. Any opinions on MW3?
Honestly, great campaign. The way they opened it up was amazing.
Agreed.
Followed in suit with the last game, which I really liked. Multiplayer was pretty good. Spec Ops was really great. I really enjoyed Spec Ops. I think I spent most of my time on Spec Ops or campaign.
Yeah.
I don't know. Multiplayer, I just never really got into with those older games, which I regret. But yeah, all around, I have to say probably another S or double S.
Modern Warfare 3, I would give it an S. The one thing I didn't like about it was that it started to begin the trope of loot boxes, which was not really a positive look, because with this one it wasn't like locked weapons like Black Ops 3, how you couldn't get certain weapons unless you got them out of the box, which was one of the things I really hated about Black Ops 3. And it could have done better. I personally would put it as an A tier because it's not a bad game. The campaign followed suit with Modern Warfare 2. It was on pace, on time, on the same message that they were trying to throw out. Spec Ops, like you said, really fucking fun. You got to do whatever you want. And the multiplayer, it just wasn't bad. It could have been a little bit more better. It was almost like a direct copy and paste as Modern Warfare 2. But, of course, like 5-6 years later, though, different mechanics. I think they had a newer engine with it. And it wasn't bad. It was just not as worthy as Modern Warfare 2.
For sure.
All right, Ready or Not. I'm going to give this one completely up to you because you played it a little bit more than I have.
Well, blame Brandon for that, but I got to tell you about Brandon later anyway. Ready or Not, I have to say, pretty good game. With the recent update, made it 20 times better.
Yeah, I tried it once.
You got more mods, more enjoyability out of it. I found myself always kind of like boring myself to death before, whereas now I feel like I can actually take control of the team on solo and, go in and like there's actual cause and effect now.
Right.
Whereas before it's just like you die, okay, restart and keep going. Honestly, probably an A or S tier game in my opinion.
Alrighty. I agree with actually a lot of that because I played the new update with the whole fucking like LA vibe station that they threw out and with the weapons that they kind of add. It's really a good game if you want that hyper realistic SWAT fucking activity. You know, you want to go in with your squad, kill a bunch of fucking people who are either terrorists or just a group of criminals. Really fun, and I wouldn't say it's really the best with friends. Like you could play it solo. It's gonna be a little not boring but lonely if you do it solo. It is better with friends, but it's there. It's not that far or that different from solo. It's not really a
Yeah.
great distance. It's almost pretty close.
And I will say this, the storyline behind it is realistically unique
Yeah.
for any cop game I've ever played. Um, it is pretty messed up, but overall, it's a really good
Oh yeah.
storyline.
They optimized it since then. At launch, it was like half done. They even said it. They're like, we wanted to release it early for you guys. It's not complete. We know. Just don't be mad at us, but you will be able to play the missions that or the maps that are not complete before they're launched, which I did like, right? They were just shitty detailed, or they probably didn't have the materials added on to like the walls and such, but it wasn't bad, right? Like a lot of games, if they ever release the pre-game of what you're going to be seeing later on, it'd be horrible. It'd be buggy. It'd be laggy. It would not work at all. Ready or not, they would release a pre-version which was optimized and ready to play so you could see what it would be like. And I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Rainbow Six Siege. Oh, I got a mixed opinion about this. You could go first.
I haven't played this game in probably a fucking hot 10 minutes, but used to be, this is just my opinion, used to be good. I feel like now with the amount of attention it's got, it's kind of gone way more toxic
Mm-hmm.
and more, yeah, honestly, last time I played it was probably 3-4 years ago. So I can't really say shit about it now. But from when I did play, it was overall a good game. But the player community is pretty toxic, I will say.
What tier would you say?
Probably B tier.
Okay. You know what? I agree with that. I was going to say C, but I played it. I've been playing it since the brand new fucking update, which is Deimos. He literally has an attack helicopter. Like a mini attack helicopter that follows people and shows her. It's like a 1v1 tracking. So if you get live action of their location, but they get like a blip every 3 seconds of your location, it's not a bad operator. It's better than their last one, which was fucking Trimos. I forgot his name. He throws like freeze bombs.
Oh.
But yeah, it's very toxic. It's very what would you say? It's very hardcore. It's hard as fuck to play any quick match or standard match without dealing with at least one like gold to emerald or platinum player. It really has become really difficult to play that game now without like being in the same field as everybody else. They would have at least 1 to 2 people on the opposite team or even on your team that should just not be there. They're just too good at the game. I mean, they also did a big update with it, like a lot of UI. Like in the past 3 years, they've changed their UI like 3 different times. But it's a B tier, honestly. I'm gonna throw out this one just because I have it in here, just for like one reason. Hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. VR game. It's all about guns, gun mechanics, gun physics. It, like I said, with what was the other one? It was Boneworks. They don't even have NPCs. The NPCs are literal hot dogs, and I mean literally hot dogs, just humanoid-sized hot dogs, and
Oh, okay.
it's just they could have done better with it. It's a D tier for me. But I'm gonna throw out this because it's been sitting in here for a while, and I fucking hate this game so much. Fortnite Battle Royale, and I'm also gonna follow up with
Get that shit gone. Get that fucking shit gone.
Just horrendous. It's not even unplayable. It's just horrendous. It's toxic. All fucking microtransactions.
Honestly, back in like season, I don't know,
year one or
chapter one,
yeah.
Year two, all that. Like the earlier shit up to like 2019, 2020, that was good.
It was fun, yeah.
And then after that, it just went to fucking dog shit, and I never touched it.
It went completely downhill, and I agree with you. The last time I played it, like genuinely, the last time I downloaded Fortnite on PS4, not even PC, I never touched it on PC. PS4 was when, what season was that? I think it was like season 4 of chapter 1 where they blew up, I can't remember the name. Dusty Depot.
Depot?
Yep. Yeah. When the meteor strike there, that was the last season I played in it, and I actually completed that season and got the little character for it. I don't remember any of that, but yeah, it's just horrendous, and that's off of personal bias. Like we can't even give a good non-biased opinion about it. It's just garbage. But there is Save the World, which I have a completely different opinion on.
Oof, I spent money on that. Looking back now, as a game that I don't play, I regret it. But at the time, when I had like no friends on to play with, and I didn't want to like do solos or rank up with randoms, I would hop on Save the World, and I liked it. But it was, again, pay to win. Yeah. Just like the rest of the game.
See, I agree with that. I would personally put Save the World as a C tier just because it was the same mechanics, same engine, same everything else, but it was not Battle Royale where you're going against sweats. It was just you against zombies, and you would create, and my favorite thing about it was you create a base, a giant base. It could be anything. It could have guns, it could have traps, it could have this and that. And it makes me sound like an asshole, but I love doing it. Scamming little kids for their nocturnals. That was it.
That was great.
It was so fun. Just like,
I wish I could go back to that.
Right? Just, man, if I could get more nocturnals, I would. Okay, now that that's out of the way, I wanted to do Resident Evil because it's been sitting at the top waiting so patiently. And this is the entire franchise, not Resident Evil 1 or 7 or 8. It's the entire franchise.
Unfortunately, you're going to have to do that one on your own, bud.
Damn. All right. Honestly, Resident Evil in of itself, it's an A tier. It's really fun. It's following the storyline that was present the entire time of their other games, including the remastered of Raccoon City and their virus. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've watched the Linkin Park videos of the Resident Evil cutscenes. Like, they would get all Resident Evil cutscenes from their older games and put it into one entire video, and they would have Linkin Park, like the band, the songs playing over it, and I would just watch them like over and over and over. I don't know why. I just loved it. But yeah, it'd have to be an A tier.
Yeah, that's justifiable.
Did you ever play Call of Duty Ghosts?
Yes.
Okay.
Community's probably gonna hate me.
Oh, same.
But
Same.
I'm gonna have to say A or S tier.
Yes.
I fucking love that game to death.
Thank you. I really love that game too. I don't get why there's hate. I'm probably the multiplayer, sure.
Yeah, the multiplayer was dog shit. the zombies mode or infected, whatever that was.
Yeah, the little
aliens.
aliens.
It was all right for the most part,
Mm.
but coming from like zombies and going into aliens, it was a completely different storyline, completely different feel,
Yeah.
and I respected it, but it just doesn't really fit.
Right.
Now the campaign,
It
oh,
blew it out of the water.
where's number 2? Where the fuck is number 2?
They should really bring a number 2 to Ghost, and
Like,
I am so sad about that. The campaign was amazing. I really wouldn't say there's no other campaign that can beat it, because there's tons of other Call of Duty campaigns, Modern Warfare 2 and Call of Duty Black Ops 1, but Ghost in of itself is within the top 5.
Unique.
Yes.
It was unique. It was the start of a whole nother storyline. It was original characters and didn't have like Captain Price or fucking Soap get brought into it.
Right.
It was just its own thing. And it was just well written. It was easy to follow for the most part. And it was just, it's like, why didn't they make another one? They left us on this cliffhanger, literally.
Right.
Where the fuck is it?
Right, and like they got a ton of people attached to the dog. I mean, I had a physical attachment to Riley. I loved Riley, that beautiful, beautiful German Shepherd that always had your back. When they got injured on the ship, it made my heart struck. It really made me so sad, but not in like a bad way. I was like, oh no, Riley is injured. Oh God, please don't be dead. Of course, Riley's not dead, but like. Ghost in of itself had a ton of cinematics, a ton of great scenes. They never reused shit from other. I wouldn't say they could have done more, because they did the best of that campaign. Fucking dropping people out of the AC-130, or no, it wasn't even an AC-130. It was a bigger fucking plane.
It was like a C2 or C5
right,
Galaxy.
Yeah, the Galaxies.
Dropping the rhinos out of it. Oh, fuck me.
Fucking amazing. Just driving through this fucking military airfield, breaking everything, having absolute control over a tank.
Yeah, and it's like, it's that one dream that every guy fantasizes of, just fucking having an absolute hell of a time in a tank.
You know what? I'm going to update it. It's not an A tier. It's an S tier just because of that campaign. There is nothing better about that game other than the campaign. Like, if I had to give a tier list within Ghost about its own thing, it would be campaign, aliens, multiplayer. But just campaign is best. It made it so good.
Yeah. And it was like an attempt at a stealth game. But at the same time, it was a hell of a lot more funner to go loud.
Oh, I should have added Splinter Cell to this.
Yeah. Fuck, I can't stop talking about Ghost. It is fucking an amazing game.
I was the same way about fucking Battlefield 4. There's nothing that could beat Battlefield 4. But
I'll say one thing. BattleBit.
Ooh, BattleBit's good. BattleBit is good. All right, have you played Dying Light?
No.
Okay. I can do this one. So I'll do both of the Dying Lights, because Dying Light in of itself, like the same thing with Dead Island. It's just a zombie solo game, which they did have a multiplayer feature. Really fun. Really fun. The DLC, which was kind of like its 1.5 version of Dying Light 1, kind of like Riptide for Dead Island, which was like this country outback version, which was really fucking good. They also added vehicles, which what made it pop off the best. Dying Light 1 is an A tier, but Dying Light 2 is a C tier. They did the same thing that Dead Island 2 did, and it kind of ruined it. It made it smaller maps, smaller areas, a smaller story, which I fucking hated, and it just ruined their franchise. But Dying Light 1, I wouldn't say is a masterpiece, but it was pretty fucking perfect for a zombie game. Have you played Saints Row. Any of
I
them?
have not.
Okay.
No.
Saints Row, such a shitpost fucking game. I want to put it in broken, but in a positive way, because there is nothing about Saints Row that you could take seriously. That it's just a bunch of fucking bullshit that they mashed into a game, right? It's people doing sinful shit. Like, they had weapon dildos. They had dildos as weapons. They had fucking... Yeah, you should watch little clips of Saints Row later on YouTube. It is by far the funniest games I've played, so that's why it's going to be in the broken tier. Not a bad broken, but a pretty good broken. It's like, you know, movies that are like, you watch it just because you know it's going to be shit, but like a funny, like a good type of shit. It's Saints Row.
Yeah. All right.
Let's do Advanced Warfare, just to get this Call of Duty out of the way.
Honestly, I liked it.
Okay.
It was, for the most part, an okay game. Kind of piggybacked off of Black Ops 3. I don't know what came first or what came after. I don't fucking follow that.
So Advanced went before Infinite Warfare, if you've ever played Infinite.
Unfortunately.
I'm gonna say this. Infinite Warfare, everything else about Infinite Warfare was good, except the campaign. I fucking love the campaign. Ethan is the best robot overall, but continue.
Yeah. Ethan was fucking what made that campaign, to be honest. But Advanced Warfare, I loved the campaign. The storyline behind it was amazing. Multiplayer was zombies, yeah, no, it wasn't the best. They tried and failed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna have to put this one at like a B tier at best.
Okay, I could take that. I don't know why I have a second one of those, so I'll drop it at the bottom. So we got, let's throw Minecraft out. What's your opinion on like what tier? We don't need to talk about it. Everybody knows Minecraft.
Yeah, everyone knows Minecraft. Just for the sake of it, I'd say SS tier.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. Just plop it there. Let's continue. Have you played Goat Simulator?
Kinda. I've played it on mobile. But
oh, you haven't had the full experience, my friend.
No, I have not.
I have. That game is such a shitpost. It's gonna have to go into A tier. It's surprising to me, honestly, but it's a game that you could waste your time on and not be like at the end of it, because there's no story. It's just you fucking around as a goat through 1, 2, and 3. Through different levels and shit. The one thing I do hate, though, is the microtransactions for getting different areas. It's so fucking dumb. Like, I get companies need to get money, but just making areas locked until you have to pay money for it, so fucking dumb. I hated that. But Goat Simulator is such a shit post. I loved it. Have you ever played Battlefield Hardline?
I have not played it, but I've watched the campaign, and it was one game I always wanted to buy, but when it did come out, I was fucking too young, and then asking my parents to get it was just fucking a shit show. So unfortunately, no, I've not played it, but I'd give it like a C tier.
Okay, I could see that. C as a C. Okay.
What are you? What?
I played it a ton, honestly. If I could go onto my PS4 and look at the time of hours I played it, definitely not as much as 4. Probably it's half as much as 4. But Battlefield Hardline is actually, it's a pretty fun game. The campaign was kind of all over the place. It wasn't set in stone. It wasn't like something that you would remember years on, because I'm gonna be honest, I could barely remember it. But the multiplayer, A lot of people hated it. I fucking loved it. It was, honestly, in my opinion, the multiplayer was not by far the best because 4 is better. 3 was really fucking good. And Battlefield 5 is definitely better than Hardline. But I would definitely have to put Hardline as a C tier.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's only just because of the fact that they could have done more with it being a whole cops versus robbers thing, which was by far stellar. Like, it was smart. It's a really good idea for a Battlefield game to, everything else is militarized, right? And then they wanted to do a cops versus robbers, which isn't, these giant APCs going against helicopters, right? The only helicopter you had was a police or crook helicopter just for transport. No miniguns, no rockets, no fucking... I mean, you did have an RPG for the criminals. Like, the police, I don't even think they had an RPG. But the one thing about that, which, of course, Battlefield 4 did the same thing, but theirs was much more different. Battlefield Hardline, police had very specific weapons against criminals, and criminals had better weapons than the police, and I think that's probably why it didn't do so good.
Yeah, I can see that being a little bit of a shit show.
Right. So, I want to get the Sims out of here because it's been sitting here so patiently. What's your opinion on the Sims?
Was never able to launch it or get past the tutorial. Broken.
Broken. Yep. There's nothing... I wouldn't say there's nothing good about it, but there's just... You can't do, like...
There's a lot of bad.
The only thing I've heard about The Sims is females having fun creating characters, right? And if I go onto YouTube and look up The Sims, the main demographic, females creating their real-life characters or their boyfriends or their parents or whatever and making a nice little house for it, and they'd be done. Never touch it. Guys, they just torture the absolute fuck out of these fucks.
Yeah.
Like, there's no breathing room for those fucks. But, yeah, it's gonna have to sit in broken. Let's do Far Cry 4, which is Far Cry Primal. Have you ever touched that?
I have not touched the Far Cry series.
Really none of them. Fuck.
Yeah,
Man,
I'm fucking way behind.
So, Far Cry 3 and 5, I will say, is good. Far Cry Primal... F. Garbage. I only played it a little bit, but just playing it, it's literally just cavemen. You're a caveman going against fucking wild animals and other cavemen, and you create, like... Oh my god, the one thing I hated about it was you had to pick up rocks and sticks to create these shitty spears that would break after like 10 or 20 hits, and then you only had a limited amount of room to collect rocks and fucking wood to create another spear and then break it again. It's such a huge waste of time.
Fair enough.
Have you ever done golf with your friends?
No.
Okay, so I played it. It's a fun little game to do with friends. It's a B tier. There's nothing more to say about it. It's just golf.
Yeah.
Battlefield 3.
Ooh. I think I played it. Yeah,
I can
it's one of
barely
those
remember
games
it.
that... Yeah, I can't remember it.
I've heard a lot of good about it. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good about it. I can barely even remember a little bit of it other than the multiplayer. Like, the storyline, I can't remember it. But it's definitely have to sit at B tier, and then I'm just going to throw Bad Company at A tier because I do remember how fun Bad Company was. Bad Company in of itself was just a really old version of Battlefield 4, but of course without like major fucking additions like the destruction or the vehicles or some of that other shit. But it was really fun. Let me do. Where is Far Cry 5? Here it is. I'm gonna just do that real quick. Far Cry 5 is one of their best sellers, and I could see why, because of the whole patriotism and fucking literal fascism, because that was kind of the whole point of it. It was fun because of the liberty that you had with it. It's just the same as any other Far Cry game, other than Primal, of course. It's gonna have to be an A tier.
Fair enough.
Have you ever played Just Cause?
Crucify me again.
Damn. Okay. Just Cause 2, an old game, very limited to what you could do, but it was good in an old way, so it's gonna have to be a B tier. Just Cause 3 was the one I played the absolute fucking most. I did 100% run on that, but sadly don't have the recording. That is gonna sit at an A tier. And then Just Cause 4, I played a little bit of it. It was just a mimic of Just Cause 3, so that's going to have to go sit at B tier. Just Cause 3 is by far the best out of 4 because, like I said, it's just a mimic of it. Damn near same vehicles, same equipment. I mean, you could just do a little bit more. But, yeah. I'm gonna do this one just so I could talk shit about it. Destiny 2.
It's all you.
Garbage. Unplayable.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it's fucking dog shit.
I don't get how people like that game. It's for one, a pay to win. For two, you're just I don't know if you've ever played Warframe, but
I think so.
either I don't know, and I don't really care which one came first. Either Warframe or Destiny, they're just a mimic of the two. They're just literally the same exact same. But there's nothing good about Destiny. Now you have to have played Rocket League.
About that.
No? Okay, I don't blame you.
No.
Rocket League, when it was first out, I played it on release. I paid for the whole $25. Now it's free. So it's free because they made it into a competition sport. I'm gonna just go off of the paid version, which was when it first released. It was fun. I genuinely did enjoy it. I wouldn't say it's an A tier, but it is a B tier type game. It had you in your car beating other motherfuckers, and you're just playing soccer, but that was really all it was. There's nothing more to it. Now I have God of War in here, and what I mean by God of War is the whole franchise from 1, 2, 3, and then the new God of War and God of War Ragnarok. Have you ever played any one of those?
I haven't played them, but I've watched you stream it.
I loved the new God of War. I want to get Ragnarok, but it's not on PC yet. I think it's like a PS4 exclusive, and I think they're gonna release it later this year. I hope. Let's see. God of War. Rag? Yes, see, it's not even popping up. So I played God of War 2 and 3 off the PS3 when it came out. Not when it came out, but when it was for the PS3, and it was difficult, but it was fun. It was a story, it was a lore, it was mythological. It, in of itself, was like telling a story of a god, right? You had these amazing quick time events where you would either push away your daughter, like you got a spam circle, push away your daughter, leave your daughter alone, right? Like she's like fucking 7, you abandon your child to go kill gods and shit. It was funny. You gotta press circle to fucking literally have sex with a bitch. Oh my god, it was funny. But other than those two, the new God of War and God of War Ragnarok, which I still haven't played, but from the videos that I've seen of Ragnarok is a definite fucking A tier. And with God of War itself, me playing it in whole, I have to put it as an S tier.
Valid.
Now, Apex Legends. Have you touched on that?
I have not touched on it,
Okay,
and
so
I don't think I will.
I played Apex when it first came out. It's not like Fortnite. I will say that. It's of course a battle royale. They have packs. There's not that many microtransactions, honestly. I haven't touched on it since, but I have been watching Moist Critical's esports team recently try to get up in their high rankings of it because they're doing their
Okay.
major events on it, and it's just very broken. I'm gonna have to put it there because you probably haven't heard, but they literally this weekend or last weekend,
Yeah, I heard they got hacked, or
yup,
the
major.
Anichi got hacked.
So somebody who was 15 years old, they found that out because his name was Destroyer 2009. They were 15 years old,
Mm.
supposedly, and they were giving and unlocking cheats to the major streamers, which ruined the competition. Like the streamers, I give good rep to the streamers. They did a great job because when they figured out that they were not using hacks, but they were gifted hacks, they would call it out, and then they would leave the competition. Right? They weren't using the hacks. They weren't like trying to be hush hush about it, even if they were streaming or not. They would tell the main heads of the event, "Hey, we got hacked, so we left. Can we reschedule?" And then Apex was like, "Yeah, we're just gonna reschedule it." So I mean, I would give them a good rep. I'd put them at C tier, honestly. But since they just cannot figure their shit out, they're at broken.
Fair enough.
All right. Have you ever done Ark Survival Evolved?
Yes, I've tried it out, and I never really could have figured it out.
Mm. Okay, so I have spent probably 1,000 hours on PS4 playing this game with my old elementary and not high school, elementary friends actually, because I had a group of people that we'd play this game on, and 7 Days to Die when it first released on PS4. Ark Survival was actually really fucking fun. If you've heard how Pal World is, Pal World. If it's not already, it's an exact copy of Ark Survival, but with Pokemon. But Ark
Oh,
Survival is super fun. I enjoyed playing it. I would play it again if it wasn't fucking pay $30 so you could play on this map and get these wyverns. Like, God, I just hate microtransactions. But Ark Survival Evolved, I am gonna have to give it a comfortable A tier. Now, have you ever played any of the Battlefront games?
I played both of them actually. Yeah.
Ooh. I haven't played one. I only played two, so you could give a good opinion on it.
Battlefield 1, it's kind of the same as Battlefront 2, to be honest. Just a
Okay.
little bit less, I don't know. Battlefront 2 is kind of the better one out of the two, in my opinion.
Right.
You got the clones and all that, whereas Battlefront 1 was just pretty much just the Empire and all that. So I like the clones better. I am a Clone Wars and prequels kind of guy.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, I would say it's probably B or A tier.
Honestly, when I played Battlefront 2, and I'm gonna get hate for it, but I never watched Star Wars or any of the animation series or the Lego or any of that, and I'm not saying I regret it. I just never really found an interest in it. Not saying it's bad. It's just not my cup of tea. I love like future fucking like space shit. Like great example, Star Trek. They have this new show called Lower Decks. It's an animation series, really fucking good. Love the fuck out of it. But when I played Battlefront 2, because a bunch of my friends got it, and they're like, "Bro, you gotta play it." I do fucking love it. I have to give that a comfortable A tier.
Fair enough.
But I did hear what was it? The Star Wars battle, the bundle that they recently just released this year with Helldivers 2 is extremely broken. So if I had that on
Oh,
this list, it would be broken because they only had like 32 servers available, and you could only have like, what was it, 60 players in it, and a bunch, and I mean like an overflow of people were just sprawling out, amazing, happy that they came out with this bundle that you could play the old Battlefront games. Like before, I think it was before Battlefront 1, I think there was like a different version of it. I think it was like Clone War. Here, I gotta look it up.
yeah, it was kind of the same thing, but just like more retro.
Where is it? Star Wars. It was like the collection thing, whatever it was, the collection. It was broken when they first released it this year, and a ton of people got mad, and I do not blame them. But it would be in broken tier. Let's go
Yeah.
to. I already done the first Need for Speed. Have you ever played Payback or No Limits?
No.
All right, Payback. They could have done more with it. Very limited. Not a lot of vehicles. It was more story than like the actual vehicles, so it'd be a B tier. And No Limits. I think it was more enjoyable, but it's still gonna have to be a B tier. Now, Call of Duty World War II.
Oof. There's mixed feelings on this one.
Ooh,
I love the campaign. Multiplayer was eh. It was all right.
I get that.
Um, Zombies, fuck, just terrible. It was fucking terrible.
Really? I heard the
Um,
complete opposite.
I was not the. I wasn't a fan of it, to be
Okay.
completely honest.
So,
Um,
I'll be honest, I never got to play World War II. I never had the chance to, even though I got a disc for it. But when I tried to play the disc on my PS4, it was corrupted. I got scammed. I
oh,
don't care. But it, from what I've heard of it, it's not that great.
yeah, it wasn't the greatest game. Like campaign was probably the best out of it.
What tier would you
Um,
throw it?
I'd throw it at probably B tier.
Oh, you're very generous today.
I'm very generous, yeah.
Um, so here's the remaining ones that we got left. We got Dead by Daylight, Assetto Corsa, Infamous. That would be Infamous. Oh no, wait, I already threw up Infamous 1. Oh, I could throw up Infamous 2 here in a second. Killing Floor 2, Friday the 13th, Squad, Battlefield 5, Arma, Doom, Modern Warfare 1, which is the new one, PUBG, Red Dead Redemption 1, and I could throw up a couple more in a second.
So out of those, I've played Arma. I've played one of the Doom games,
Okay.
uh, the Modern Warfare, and PUBG.
Damn, you haven't played half of these. You gotta try out Squad.
Yeah.
Since I'm already talking about Squad. Squad is gonna have to go. Oh, hold on. Squad is gonna have to go as a S tier, only because of the reason that it's a better version of Arma. Really. Oh my! Hold on, my AirPod just died on me. But let me see. Let me get a test. Talk real quick.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, Squad is just a better version of Arma. They could have done better. Or no, whoa, I'm wrong. I am completely wrong. I don't know what I'm yapping out of my mouth. Squad is a way better, not a way better version, but a better version of Arma just because of the game mechanics, the communication. I'm gonna wait until you. There we go. The game mechanics, the communication, the gameplay. It really is fun. I was introduced to Squad by 3 army buddies. One of them was a Canadian Army soldier. I forgot what platoon or what group. He's a yapper. But the other two, they recommended it to me so much that I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll save up the money and get it. I got it. And my God, it is really a fun game. It deserves an S.
Fair enough.
What's your opinion on Arma?
Now, are we talking like Arma Reforger, Arma 3?
Let's say Arma 3.
Arma 3? I'm still kind of getting into it.
Okay.
I've done a lot more with Army Kid and Vixie lately. We've kind of just getting into an Anastasi server. Honestly, I don't mind it. Game mechanics are pretty whack. But the things you can do with it, from what I've seen and experienced, are honestly limitless.
Oh, yeah.
So, to be fair, I'm going to put it probably A tier or B tier.
Ooh. All right. Yeah, I mean, I played Arma 3, not Reforger. Arma 3, I'm gonna be honest. I tried playing their like version of a campaign. It's just so difficult.
If there's anyone who wants to play fucking Arma, do not do the single player campaigns at all. They are complete dog shit.
Yeah.
And will only make you yourself.
Yeah, it really did just piss me off. I kept dying over and over just because I was just going over this hill, right? Just this one fucking hill. And I'm actually still stuck on this one mission. And I think it's like the first or second, or it's probably the second or third mission. And it's like where you're going through the forest and you got to go over this hill to meet up with a group of people or something like that.
Yep.
And I just cannot get over this fucking mountaintop, and it made me rage quit and uninstall it. I'm like, the multiplayer for Arma 3, I do enjoy. I love being a pilot, like flying the Ospreys there and back, doing all that other shit. Really fucking fun. But yeah, I agree with A tier. It's not a bad game. All right. Infamous 2, it's just the same as Infamous 1, but a little bit more better. I'd put it C tier. Dead by Daylight. I've played it. It's just a fucking... I don't get how people really enjoy the fuck out of this game. I don't. It's like it's a mimic of Friday the 13th, but just smaller.
Yeah, that's the one where you fucking run around the map, turn the generators on, that shit.
Yeah.
All getting chased by a killer or some shit.
It's kind of dumb to me. It's just a single game type of fucking... It's a single game. You only play one mode, and that's the only thing you get, right? Yeah, you unlock these new characters or unique characters, right? Like, I don't know if you're the controversy behind it, but they added this character which... they are like wearing trans clothing, and it got voiced by an actual trans person, and the person didn't even know who they were voicing for. And once they found out, they got extremely mad about it. It was kind of funny. But Dead by Daylight, I'd say it's unplayable. I don't like it.
Yeah. I played it once. I didn't enjoy it.
Assetto Corsa, since you haven't played it, I'll do a short description. Driving fast, only on speed tracks. You gotta have a wheel because playing on keyboard is fucking dumb as fuck. D tier. That's it.
Fair enough.
Friday the 13th. I loved playing this game when it released. I'm gonna put it as A tier. Playing as Jason, going around this actually pretty big size fucking map, murdering all your friends. Vanos made a great video about it. It's genuinely just a bunch of fun when it first came out, and it still is. It's gonna have to sit at A tier comfortably. Killing Floor 2, you haven't played it. I played Killing Floor 1 and 2. It's It's a shit fest. Not like in a bad way, but just like absolute mayhem. You just trying to think of a good description, like a game relative to it, but I don't even think there really is one. Killing Floor is just survive as many rounds against zombies and different types of zombies. It's a C tier.
Fair enough.
Battlefield 5. Have you played that?
Battlefield 5.
It's like the
That's the
1914 one, World War One.
Oh, yeah, I played that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I liked it. The campaign was pretty good. The multiplayer I found to be a little bit difficult, but enjoyable for the most part. There's not a whole lot much more to say about it other than it's an EA game, so it's pay to win. Or
Oh wait, I'm wrong.
heavy
It's based on World
microtransaction.
War Two. I'm guessing Battlefield 1 is World War One. My bad.
Yeah, that sounds about. Yeah. In that case, I have not played it then.
I know I played Battlefield 5, but I could barely remember it because it was just a like. I was playing against the most like not toxic, but just two OP players. Like I could not get a solid multiplayer game in, and I wouldn't say it's a bad game, but it's just like you got to be really fucking good at that game just to survive. And honestly, I'm gonna have to put it as a B tier. Let me get Battlefield 1 in because